was no one to judge you, would you make different choices? Why make choices in your life based on what everyone else thinks is best for you? What about trusting your intuition and just going with what you think? Everyone has the power to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here's the host of Inspired Choices, intuitive life coach, Christine McIver.
Welcome everyone. This is Christine, your host. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I especially want to say thank you for everyone for tuning in for all of the past shows that I've been presenting here on the Voice America Network. It has been absolutely wonderful, and I feel so blessed. I'm blown away by the numbers of people that have been connecting with me, and I feel a wonderful feeling knowing that my message, what I'm supposed to be delivering, is being received. And thank you. So I live in, and I mention this every week, in Guelph, Ontario, Canada. It's a small city about an hour outside of Toronto, about 120,000, I think. Somebody might correct me, I'm not positive. But it's definitely a fall day here today. It's beautiful. The temperature has definitely dropped, and there has been raining. I think it's raining again now if I look outside. Certainly not to the point that we're in harm like some other countries are experiencing, but it is cooler for sure. And I love this time of year because it gives me the time to cuddle into myself and you know, you can give yourself some love and some comfort. Often we hear people complaining when it's too cold or when it's too hot or when it's too something. Well, even about anything, you know, it doesn't matter what it is. We happen to put ourselves into a vibration where we're complaining. And I want you to know that you have a choice about that too. You can spend your time looking at what you do not like and make yourself worse, or you can find the beauty right in front of you. And I love this time of year to put my fireplace on and wrap a blanket on and just enjoy the quiet that surrounds me. Yeah, I love the summer. I love the sunshine up. I love, you know, sitting outside until 9 o'clock at night. But now I'm taking more time when it gets, you know, the sun goes down sooner, it gets darker. I'm taking more time to be with me and to checking in and taking care of me. And that's my job, is to take care of me. And that's your job, to take care of you. It's not anybody else's job. It's your job. You know, change is the only constant that we have. And you decide on how you're going to be with the changing. So are you going to embrace the changes that are happening in our environment as the seasons change here in Canada and wherever you are? I'm sure there's some changing happening around you. There's changing happening within our bodies. You know, every 7 years, every single solitary cell and organ in our body changes. So change is constant. That's the one thing that we can't stop, is actually the changing. But you get to decide. You have a choice. Always, always, always. So I just want to make sure that I share that with you today, because I think we can get caught up in the complaining, and it does not serve us, and it certainly doesn't serve the people who are listening to us. So now, last week we had a wonderful time with Beth Perojic, the intuitive healer. We were it was our part 2 of Awaken Your Intuitive Gifts, and it was so much fun, and she shared some great, real, wonderful pieces of information to help us find and use our intuition. I just wanted to go over that. It's called the OELA process. So the first letter O stands for being open to receiving intuitive messages. The second step is expect to receive the messages. And she said that was the second most important step, to expect it. The third step is to listen for the messages. And when you're feeling good and you're in a good frame of mind and in a good frame with your spirit, the volume will be better for listening. And the final step in the process is to act on the messages you receive. And she said that was the most important step. Even the smallest intuitive nudge or feeling or Do I want to have steak or chicken for supper? That's an intuitive message coming into you. It's in the small things, not the big things. But what's important is that you follow through. You don't get into your head and go, well, that wouldn't be right. I had chicken last night. I shouldn't have chicken again. If you feel like having chicken 2 nights in a row, have chicken. It's what is best for you. So listen to your intuitive messages, listen to the nudges, to the gut feelings that are coming through, and watch how it begins to serve you and how it's so easy then to help you to make some decisions, because your first place is you go check in with you. You can ask other people for their professional advice. You can ask other people who have been experienced. But the final say comes from you and what feels right for you. So checking in with you and your feelings, and if it feels right, that's the final and most important step in the process in making your decisions. So before we get into today's topic, I just want to let you know that yesterday on Facebook, I started a new promotion, I'm calling it Wondrous Wednesdays, and I'm going to be doing angel card readings on Wednesdays, and whoever would like to call in and have an angel card reading live on the show, we'll call in the angels for guidance, and we'll see where it takes us. And it'll be very exciting, and be open to it. You would be amazed, the wonderful, amazing things that can happen when you are open to it. And this is something that I started today. As I said, I have done other angel card reading days, but I'm going to start today doing the Wondrous Wednesdays, and I'm going to continue it till the end of 2011. I felt very guided to do this, and I can tell you today so far I've done 2 angel card readings, and it has really landed with the people. I don't kind of say it all at the beginning. I let them give me feedback to see if it means something to them. And whether you believe it or not, I always say to people, what do you have to lose? If you're frustrated and you're feeling lost, what do you have to lose? So I look forward to receiving some calls today. Or if you're more comfortable, if you would like to email in a question you'd like guidance on, you can do that at Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. And I'd be happy to give you an angel card reading and to call in our angels for support. So let's get on to today's topic. Today's topic is, who will I be if I'm not who I've been? Who will I be if I'm not who I've been? Do you ever find yourself wanting to change but feeling that you can't possibly? Do you wonder what others will think if you're no longer the funny one, or the serious one, or the one who has all the answers, or even the one who always has been employed in the same job? Life is full of challenges, but more often those challenges are disguised as opportunities if we dig deep enough. You do not have to be defined or imprisoned by your past. No longer allow your ego to run your life. It feels good when we let go of that. Fear is only a 4-letter word, and it cannot conquer you. In this show, we will discuss how you can take hold and move into your future with unbridled passion and excitement. And isn't that what we all want? To move forward and feel like we are in our passion, in our joy, inspired to be doing the calling that's coming to us, even if we don't know exactly what that looks like. So what if you weren't the person you've always been? What's going to happen? What do you think will happen? Do you think others are going to judge you? Will others think less of you? Will they begin to talk about you? I've got a bigger question. Who cares? Who cares if other people are talking about you? Who cares if other people say, well, who does Christine think she is? She was an HR professional, and now she does angel card readings. Well, who does she think she is? You know what? God bless them. God bless them on their journey, but I'm no longer in tune with what other people think of me. Yes, I want people to like me. Yes, I want to be accepted. Yes, I'm a human being. I don't want to be judged, but, and this is the big one, I want to be happy. And I want to be joyful. So my opinion of me is most important for me. I think that bears repeating. My opinion of me is most important for me. If when I look in the mirror at the end of the day, or I look in my child's eyes and I wonder, have I been doing the right thing? And I get a deep knowing that yes, I have. That's all that matters. That's all that completely matters. Please keep asking yourself, what do I want? What do I want for me? And then listen. Listen to the messages that come in. And don't be surprised. And you know, what the really cool thing about the messages, they don't always come in and say, okay, Christine, so you should be doing this, and you should be doing that, and you should be doing this. They will sometimes be one word. They will sometimes be a picture. They will sometimes be a nudging of the next step. We are going to go to break in just a minute, and when we get back, we've got a caller on the line, so please hold on, Tammy, if you're listening. Tamara, I believe, sorry. And we're going to go into a little bit more about this and what it actually means to move into being the person that I'm not. And the question I want you to think about while we're at break, and the one that's most important is, not only what do you want, but what about who you will not be? If you're not who you've been, then who will you not be? What are the parts of you that you are willing to move past, move through? It's like a snake shedding its skin. What are you willing to shed? Ask yourself those questions while we go to break. And when we get back, we're going to take your calls, going to do some angel card readings, and we're going to get into more of this. I look forward to hearing from you. Email me, Christine@inspiredchoices.ca, and we will be right back. So hold on the line. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. My name's Christine. I'm your host. And today we're talking about who will I be if I'm not who I've been? Who will I be if I'm not who I've been? And we're also taking your calls and doing angel card readings and seeing what that maybe means for you and what the guidance might be coming in for you today. And thank you so much. I have a caller on the line. Is it Tamalia?
Tamala.
Tamala. I'm sorry, Tamala. Thank you so much for holding on the line. Well, we went to break. So what is your question today?
Well, I don't really have a specific question. I was just wondering what the angel card reading, where it might take us.
Oh, excellent. I love it. You're being very open, aren't you?
Yes.
Good. That's step one. And are you expecting a message to come?
Hopefully.
Okay, well, I'm going to hold the expecting because I know that they always come through with a wonderful message. Trust that the message will land, and then it'll be up to you to act on it. How's that?
That's great.
Okay, so first of all, without getting too specific, share with whatever you would like to share, Tamalia. What is your question for the angels today?
I actually have several questions. So can I just throw them out there and then they can choose?
Well, what's the first one that came into your mind?
Let's go. Okay, my daughter.
Okay.
She's very young, kind of struggling in her career, trying to get going with the economy the way it is, and so I'm wondering what they can tell me in regards to her.
Okay. So, Tamalia would like to have guidance today, angels, to support her daughter in helping her in some financial challenges in her career.
Yeah.
So, Tamalia, what I'm doing right now is I'm shuffling the angel cards, and what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to tell me when to stop, and I will take the top card.
Okay. Stop.
Okay. Now I love the way things happen, Tamalia. This is so much fun. And so I'm sitting here shuffling, and the cards were shuffling very smoothly. And as soon as I said this to you, a card flipped in my hand, Okay, but inside of the deck?
Uh-huh.
And I kept flipping. I thought, okay, I'm just going with it. I'm going with it. And when you said stop, guess which card came up?
That one.
That one? I'm not kidding. I love how these always unfold. They're just beautiful. So what I'm looking at is a card of an angel. It looks like a male angel. He has beautiful spanned golden wings, golden hair. There's a light behind his crown. He has a beautiful green gown on. And what it says at the top is be willing to forgive. The message at the bottom of the card says, ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for peacefulness.
Wow.
Okay, so tell us what that means for you.
Oh, she's had a lot of struggles with her biological father.
Okay.
She has no contact with him anymore. But the scars are there.
Right. So what I want to do, Tamalia, is I want to bring this over to you. We're going to talk in regards to your daughter, but this is your card reading, okay?
Okay.
So, and interesting, I also am divorced, and I have 2 children from the marriages, and I get this message. I have received this message myself in the past as well. So I can both identify and support you from a life coach and also feel the intuition coming, the messages from the angels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read what it says in this booklet, and then we'll get into this just a little bit more.
Okay.
The angels are trying to help you with the topic of your question by urging you to heal anger related to your past experiences and relationships. This old anger has become a barrier to attracting your desires, as well as a magnet that attracts similar situations to your side. This is a very important message, and your little bit of willingness to forgive is all that's required. You don't need to forgive the action that occurred in the past. You simply need to be willing to allow the angels to help you clear away the toxic poison of unforgiveness from your heart and mind. In this regard, you're trading pain for peace. The benefits of forgiveness include increased peace of mind, renewed energy, and the ability to focus. Tamalia, we are all connected. All of our energies intermingle as it was like a spider web. Okay? Everyone in the universe. More so with the people that we love. We are definitely connected. I'm sure you've heard about cords of connection to other people.
Yeah.
Well, you are very, very much connected to your daughter and she to you. And where we vibrate, it impacts other people where they vibrate, and so on. Backwards, it goes both ways. So if you want to help your daughter, what the angels are saying is, this is for you to begin the forgiveness process. Sometimes the best way that we can teach our children, and this is an old adage, is by example, not by words. When you can move into more forgiveness of your ex-husband and the impact that it has had on your daughter and on you, and you can move into that forgiveness, you are going to vibrate higher on the emotional scale. You are going to be more in line with love than you are with fear. And you will help to bring a different energy to the situation for your daughter's life as well. But first, it's about you. Our job, Tamalia, is to take care of us. First, always. And when we are putting the oxygen mask on ourselves and we are lining up with our joy and our passion, we cannot help but impact and shine a light for others to do the same. '" 'Cause 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 ' And when we release anger and fear and resentment, and we move into hopefulness and possibilities and expectation and passion and joy, we will begin to attract to us everything that our heart desires. That's the law of attraction. And it's that simple about just being open to forgiveness, just like you were open to the message today, Talia.
Mm-hmm.
So it says, go to a quiet location, and while falling asleep, out loud or silently, say to the angels, specifically Archangel Raphael, I call upon you now. I am willing to forgive, and you name the person, and release all stored up anger from my physical, mental, and emotional bodies. I am willing to release pain in exchange for peace. And then breathe in and out deeply, and that will enable you to open up to Raphael's loving and powerful cleansing process. And you continue to repeat this, Tamalia, until you feel at peace. I worked on forgiveness for my relationship with my ex-husband for probably a year. It was pretty strong. I was holding on to it pretty heavily. And I can tell you it helped me tremendously to move into more joy in my life and to have a better relationship with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't about him. It was always about me. I was holding myself in a prison because I kept holding on to that anger like it was, like it was a stick in my hand. I wouldn't let go of the stick.
Mm-hmm.
All the best, Tamalia. Thank you so much for calling in today.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. Bye now.
Have a great afternoon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, isn't that amazing? I just love the angel cards and the message that they send. They're just amazing. And, Tamalia, thinking about who will she be if she's not who she's been? Well, part of that may be for her, or maybe it is for you. Who will I be if I'm not that angry person? Who will I be if I move forward and I allow something new to come through? Isn't that amazing just to think about it? And, a lot of people say, well, I want to know, I want my answers. I want to know what will happen. Well, wouldn't it be boring to always know what the next step is going to be or what the full picture is going to be? Yes, put your joy out there. Put your desires out there. Always dream, 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 and stay in touch with the dreaming. But the how and the when, it wouldn't be fun if we had all of those answers. It just would be boring. We spend so much friggin' energy worrying about what it's going to be like or what other people think. We leave little time for what we think and what we believe and what we truly want. Like I said, your purpose is to live your passion. And when you start to move into a place where you feel good and you feel like you want to have more joy in your life, what in the world can happen is endless. It is absolutely endless. We're going to go for break. Time is flying. Oh my goodness. I can't believe this. I have so much more I want to share with you. Thank you so much for being on the line with me today. Stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to get more into this. I'm going to share more with you, and I would love to have more calls and emails so we can continue to show the world how easy it is to move forward. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Christine, your host, and today we're talking about who will I be if I've not who I've been. We're also doing on-air angel card readings, and today is called Wondrous Wednesdays at Inspired Choices, where we do free angel card readings for anyone. And if you're not on the call right now and you're listening later, you can email me and set up a time. It takes about 15 minutes over the phone, or we can Skype together, and we will have a wonderful experience. It always, always happens. Something that I want to touch base on right now is I have a lot of people often say to me, well, what is an intuitive life coach, or what even is a life coach? You may know what intuitive is, not sure what life coach is. Well, what I do and the gifts that I have been given is I combine the two together. And so as a life coach, I help to move you forward. I help you to maybe see a broader perspective, see different choices, help you to get unstuck from where you maybe have been. I specialize in a lot of different areas: self-confidence, relationships, marketing and business is a big part of who I am, and I'm also an HR consultant, so I bring some of those tools to the table as well. And being an intuitive life coach, what I do is I bring in the spiritual and they work in concert together. So with my training and my education and my passion, I bring in guidance as well from my intuitive guides, your intuitive guides, and we move all together forward. So if this is something you'd like to explore, if you'd like to know a little bit more about that, email me, connect with me on my website, inspiredchoices.ca. And you can learn more about it and see if this is something that you're desiring, if this is something that you would like an opportunity to try and see if it will bring you closer to your dreams. Maybe you have a business you'd like to grow. Maybe you have some ideas on how to even begin a business, but you're not sure where or what's holding you back. Maybe there's a fear that's in there. So we can do work together to help you to move forward and see who you want to be becoming. I want to share with you a personal story. The first time that this was ever really brought to my attention about the whole idea of who will I be if I'm not who I've been, I was actually sitting with a business manager at one of the places I worked in the past. And I was having a conversation. I can't remember the whole context of the conversation, but I said something. He was asking me questions, and I said something, and I said, well, I'm Irish, and we have tempers. And all of a sudden, he just looked at me and very quick said, no, that's who you're choosing to be. And wow, did my ego really get the best of me on that one. I got pretty intense, and I'll tell you, I gnawed on that for quite some time. But it took me into a place of really looking at who I am and who I wanted to be, and it helped me to begin to see that I am not a label. I am not just a woman. I'm me. I am not just a woman who was born of Irish descent. I'm a woman who lives in Canada. I'm not just a Canadian. I'm a person who lives in Guelph. I'm not just a woman who has 2 children. I'm also a friend. I'm not just a HR consultant. I'm also a life coach. I'm all that and more and more and more. And I do not have to wear labels that no longer suit me. And it's like the belief systems that we absorbed or we choose to accept when we are young. We receive our belief systems from our families and from the community around us. And, at the time, we may not consciously realize that we don't have to accept that, but we can, as we move forward in our life and things are not quote unquote working for us, then we move into, does that belief work for me? And if that belief does not work for me, how can I change it? How can I pour new beliefs into my thoughts? How can I have new experiences that help to move me forward? Well, this is exactly what today is all about, is you do not have to adopt the roles in your families or at work or in the relationships. We sometimes get so comfortable, and not that we are comfortable with the way they are, but we're so comfortable we don't want to change. Well, what's happening a lot of the time is our ego is holding us very strongly in that place. And we want to be defined by that because we don't know who we're going to be without it. And what if we're not? What if we're not that person? When I first started in HR, I don't know where I first got this belief system, but I believed as an HR professional I had to be a cop. I had to be a cop and make sure everybody was following all the rules and everybody was behaving and everybody was playing nice in their sandbox. And one of my bosses actually said to me, I don't want you to be the cop anymore. I don't want you to be the cop. And at first, again, my ego got up in me and thought, well, what do you mean? Well, that's what I do. And, in the past, I had to hold on to those things for some time, and I had to chew on them and maybe complain about them and so on and so forth. But as I began to open up and thought about it, did I really want to be the cop? Hell no. I did not want to be the cop. I did not want to be the one walking around with my hands on my hips going, you're not behaving. That's not who I wanted to be, but I had been that for so long, it was difficult for me to let go of it. You know, another one that's been very strong is in my family, my children and my ex-husband. I was always considered the responsible parent, the parent that always took everything so seriously, and I never had any fun. And by the way, fun for me stands for follow your nature. And I wasn't following my nature. And if you know me, if you're friends of mine or some of my clients, you know that I love to laugh and I love to have fun. And in fact, 2 years ago, my theme for the year was fun because I had allowed it to go out of my life. And fun is very much a part of who I am. But when my daughter looked at me one day when I was, not in a great place and I was being maybe angry or hard-fisted, and she says, Mom, you're always so serious. Why do you never have any fun? And oh my gosh, did that ever smack me in the face? But that was the wake-up call I needed. I don't always have to be that person. And who can I be if I'm not? I can be the person I'm wanting to be, I'm meaning to be. And as I allow myself to come out of that box, I move into the better part of who I am. The one thing that I know, which isn't great, but stick with me for a minute, when we get frustrated, when we get really tight-lipped and when we get really angry with our situation, get excited. Because it means that there's a stirring happening in you, a wanting for change, a wanting to move forward. Maybe you want a different job. Maybe you want a different lifestyle. Maybe you want to have a different level in your bank account. Maybe you want to have different relationships. Maybe you want to have more enjoyment. Maybe you are wanting for something more, but you know what? Oftentimes it has to come through a frustrating situation. 80% of the time, we change out of a place of frustration or a challenging situation. Only 20% of the time out of joy and out of pleasure. So if you want to change, remember this, you can't move forward if you're holding on to the past. And letting go is such a good thing for you to allow something new to come in. You do not have to be defined by an old label or by the person that you were choosing to be. The really cool thing is every day you get to choose. Every day you get to choose. Am I going to be happy today? Am I going to have joy in my life? Am I going to be open to miracles? Am I going to be angry? Am I going to tick somebody off? Am I going to push people away? Am I going to allow people in? You get to choose every single solitary day, and my, oh my, what an amazing opportunity we have. I really want to get this message out that you get to choose your life. I know that situations happen. I know I've got a bucket full of situations that have happened to me in my life too. I am not saying at all, and I'm not saying that what you've experienced in your life is not real, but I am telling you that if you will allow yourself to see that you have a God-given right to choose. God gave each one of us the power to choose. If you will be open to that, just like, each and every day you get to choose whether you want to get out of bed or not. Maybe the results of that won't be great, but you do get to choose. You also get to choose whether you're going to be happy. You also get to choose whether you're going to move forward. And when you begin to see you have the choice, it's like a crack in the concrete. The light starts to pour in. There are possibilities. You can start asking yourself the questions of what if? What if? It's so important that we understand that just because something didn't come through the past doesn't mean it can't come through now. Just because we didn't have joy yesterday doesn't mean we can't have joy today. I want to read you this poem before we go to break, and it's called Broken Dreams. As children bring their broken dreams with tears for us to mend, I brought my broken dreams to God because He was my friend. But then instead of leaving Him in peace to work alone, I hung around and tried to help with ways that were my own. As I snatched them back and cried, "How can you be so slow?" "My child," He said, "what could I do? You never did let go." Unknown author, I don't know who that's by, but I want you to think about that as we move forward today, and as you move forward in your life over the next short while. Are you holding on so tightly, and are you demanding an answer? Or are you opening up your hands and allowing the possibilities to come in? Are you focusing on the things that make you angry and frustrated? Or are you moving over to, this is what will bring me joy? A glass of water will bring me joy right now. That's what I'm going to focus on. Having a nap right now will bring me joy. That's what I'm going to focus on. And I'm going to be present in that nap completely and wholly. And then when I move over to working, I'm going to be there present completely and wholly. So many times we've got our feet in one area of our life, our head in a second area, and our heart in a third. And when we get them all lined up, and when we allow God to move through us, allow the divine and the source to move through us, amazing miracles can happen. The miracle of waking up happy. If you've been somebody who's been waking up frustrated or worried over the most part of your life or the recent past, you don't have to be like that. You can move forward. You absolutely have the opportunity to move forward, but it completely is up to you. Nobody else can do it for you. It's so important you understand that, and you see that you have the power. God gave you the power. So when we come back from break, we're going to be talking a little bit more about that. We're going to be taking more calls and questions. So please stay tuned, and I look forward to hearing from you. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Christine. I am your host today on Inspired Choices. That's also the name of my company, my website, and my passion, helping to inspire you to make better choices in your life that line up with you. Right now, just like we were talking last week with Beth on the show, right now the universe is really pulling us forward in the area of relationships. And one of the very best things that we can do for ourselves is to step back and ask ourselves, what do I want in this relationship? Is it serving my needs? There are so often times we are in relationship with people, and it doesn't have to be a very, very close relationship. It could be someone that we work with and we casually have lunch with, or someone that we, go to meetings with, or someone, our neighbor, and they come into our life and we seem to be more frustrated than happy with them. You may be finding more of that as that begins to happen. And on one of my calls today, when I was doing the angel card reading, we were talking about how we can look at relationships that have been very, very frustrating and how they've served us. And as I was talking about, I had a lot of anger in the past towards my ex-husband, and the anger was so evident in practically everything, and anybody ever asked me anything, it was very much there for me, and it created a lot of stress in my life, and it definitely was not serving me. And now I can look at that relationship and I can see that the frustration and the anger that was there was showing me exactly in the moment what I didn't want, and at the same time, when you have that experience, it begins to show you what you do want, and you begin to have those vibrations of what you want. The challenge is that we keep looking at the what we don't want and the anger we have towards that person, which keeps us from moving forward into what we do want. And that relationship has absolutely served me in stepping forward into my best self, the best version of me today. And I know that I'm supposed to be here. And I know that I have gifts to serve the world. And I am stepping forward, and I am being the person I choose to be. Not just that I am. The I am came after the what I was choosing. And I no longer want to be that angry person. I no longer want to be drawn into that chaos of insanity. But that chaos of insanity served me. And I want to read you a quick poem before we conclude today. And it's called, Who Will I Be If I... No, sorry, it's not called that. It's called A Reason, a Season, or a Lifetime. People come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. When you figure out which one it is, you will know what to do for each person. When someone is in your life for a reason, it is usually to meet a need you have expressed. They have come to assist you through a difficulty, to provide you with guidance and support, to aid you physically, emotionally, or spiritually. They may seem like a godsend, and they are. They are there for the reason you need them to be. Then without knowing, without any wrongdoing on your part, or at an inconvenient time, this person will say something or do something to bring that relationship to an end. Sometimes they die, sometimes they walk away, and sometimes they act up and force you to take a stand. What we must realize is that our need has been met. Our desire fulfilled, their work is done. The prayer you sent up has been answered, and now it is time to move on. When people come into your life for a season, it's because your turn has come to share, grow, or learn. They bring you an experience of peace or make you laugh. They may teach you something you have never done. They usually give you an incredibly, unbelievable amount of joy. Believe it, it is real, but only for a season. Lifetime relationships teach you lifetime lessons, things you must build upon in order to have a solid emotional foundation. Your job is to accept the lesson, love the person, and put what you have learned to use in all relationships and areas of your life. It is said that love is blind, but friendship is clairvoyant. Isn't that beautiful? Doesn't that so speak to what we're talking about today? You can release and move forward and take these relationships and the lessons in your toolbox to move forward and choose the life that you want. Decide, do I want happiness? Do I want peace? Do I want joy? And know that it's very important for you to feel good on the inside if you want to create a life of happiness to move forward. You have the power. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle. You were born to live a life of joy. You were supposed to be here. You chose to come. And this can be an amazing, amazing world if you choose to take responsibility for how you feel. Stress is often involved with change, and we fear what we cannot see. And remember, fear stands for false evidence appearing real. Just because something happened in the past doesn't mean it's going to happen in the future. The reality is we do not know what is on the other side of the change. And trusting your intuition and feeling good and moving forward one step at a time, one choice at a time will help you. The affirmation I want to give you today is, I am open to all the possibilities of who I am becoming. Imagine yourself standing up in the morning and putting your arms out nice and wide and saying that. I am open to all the possibilities of who I am becoming. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with the process. It's not like picking up my BlackBerry and sending you a message. It doesn't happen that fast. The beliefs that you have put into your life and the actions you have chosen often are repeating very strongly. It takes time. But when you are consciously creating your thoughts, choosing what you're putting into your mind and your heart and your soul, the outcome is going to be amazing. Be selfish with your feelings. You deserve to feel good. And if what you're doing isn't working, take the glasses off, take the rose-colored glasses off, and be honest. Look in the mirror and say, what do you want? Choose the life that you want to move forward into. You know, the journey that I'm on has been absolutely amazing. And the people and the support and the calls and all the experiences that the Voice America radio show has provided me has been outstanding. When I stepped forward and said yes to this, I was frightened. But oh my gosh, I followed my gut and I knew it felt good. So I moved forward. And look at what has happened for me. It has opened up the possibilities. And I share this with you because I want you to know that you don't always have to be able to see the entire landscape to know you're on the right path. Give it a chance. Next week, we're going to have our last show together. Voice America's opportunity has been amazing, but for me, the road has come to an end. And I'm open to what the universe will be providing next, and I am not worried. I'm excited. And just like a human being, I want to know, but I'm allowing the opportunities to come because this one came. So I'm so excited to talk to every one of you and to share with you what I know now. We're going to review the past shows that we've had together over the last 3 months. We're going to be sharing the highlights, the aha moments, and the next steps. Until then, my friends, please connect with me if you would like an angel card reading, if you'd like to know more about the intuitive life coaching opportunities I present. Contact me on Facebook at Inspired Choices Inc. or inspiredchoices.ca. It will be wonderful. And until next week, remember, you always have a choice. Thank you so much. Take very good care of yourselves. Goodbye for now.